It is crazy. There are things that make women instantly more attractive, instantly more magnetic, without playing games, without manipulating. And it's when they flip on this natural pull of polarity. When your feminine energy invites, the healthy masculine cannot help but pursue. And so what if there were 3 tiny switches that really helped you amplify that feminine energy that created big results? That's exactly what we're going to look at today. These tiny switches that create massive magnetism. Let's dive in. Remember, polarity is like a magnet. It's 2 complementary energies that pull one another closer. These aren't gender boxes. We're not talking about male and female. We're talking about masculine and feminine energies every one of us has, and they're on a spectrum. And at any moment, we can dial up the feminine energy or we can dial up the masculine energy. And I want to be clear, we're not talking about toxic feminine energy. Feminine energy is receptive. It's invitational. It's heart-centered. It's feeling energy. Sometimes it gets confused with toxic feminine energy, which is passive or helpless or needy or submissive. It's none of those attributes. We're talking powerful feminine energy, just like powerful masculine energy. Masculine energy is providing energy. It's pursuing energy. It's head thinking, visioning energy. It's not toxic masculine, which is aggressive or controlling or detached or arrogant. None of those things. When you express healthy feminine energy, you create this landing strip, so to speak, for the masculine to show up. He will want to provide because you are receptive. He loves to pursue because your energy is allowing. And he can be leading because you are inviting that leadership. And so we're going to look at 3 switches that you can easily turn on that light up your feminine energy, easy moves that you can make that become magnetic to healthy masculine energy. So magnet number 1 is receptivity. It's the receptive, inviting energy. In other words, you're giving him a door to walk through. So here's the principle. Receptive energy with an invitation is the quickest way to signal I value myself and I'm open to receiving. And it flips on a providing, pursuing energy in him. In other words, his healthy masculine energy. And so what's great is there are 3 easy ways to do this, like 3 beats. And I call it ask, allow, appreciate. And that creates a cycle of amplifying not feminine energy, but also his masculine energy. The ask. We've got to be willing to ask for what it is that we want. We've got to be willing to take the no or to be disappointed or to have it not go right. But feminine energy isn't passive. So often people say, well, I don't want to ask because I don't want to lead. You got to know this. Men don't speak hint. Great masculine energy loves when the feminine says, here's what I would love. Can you provide this for me? We love that. So here's some examples of ways to ask that are powerfully feminine. You can say, I'd love a midweek date. Will you create a plan for us? Boom. Love that. You can say, I'm really craving tacos right now. Would you find a good taco place for us? It could be as simple as that. And you could even have fun with this invitation tool. And a great opening line is this. You say, what would make me really happy right now? When you say that, if he's got healthy masculine energy, it'll be like him hearing trumpets going off. Bum, 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 bum. Signaling him, hey, she's about to say something that is very important for you. It is going to be a mission with which you could deliver happiness. And then you could follow it up with something crazy, like ask for whatever you want. He is going to work to try to find that thing that you want. You could say something like, what would make me really happy? I would love to go to a bar where there's a monkey serving us beers. And he's going to go to work trying to find that. And who knows, he might just even find it and it might look like this. So in being receptive, that's the ask. The second point is allow, which is letting him provide. The worst thing we can do is ask and then micromanage it, or ask and then do it for him. And this can be one of the challenging things is it takes trust. It takes letting go of control, the allowing piece, especially if you're the super successful individual who's used to accomplishing a lot and doing it yourself. And you're like, hey, if it's going to get done right, it's up to me. If that's the mentality, allowing, I know, is super tough. But when you do, it has an amazing impact on him. So if he offers to help, give yourself permission to receive the help. The urge to refuse because you don't want to be a burden or you don't want to put him out is actually coming from a place of lower self-esteem. And so you want to reframe that mindset. Here's a great way to reframe the mindset. Giving him a task, something that he can do. If there's a part of you that says, oh, well, this is going to take extra effort and I don't want to be a burden, know this, him actually doing the work to provide you with what you want bonds him to you even more. Psychologists actually label this the IKEA effect. You know the store IKEA, where you go and you buy something and you pay top dollar and it shows up in a box and there's like 200 pieces. You're like, I bought this desk and now I got to put this thing together. It's like you spend hours putting this desk together. But what they found out is that people who bought furniture from IKEA, who actually assembled that furniture, loved it even more than people who paid the same amount for the same exact piece of furniture that came pre-assembled. Why? Because the furniture that they assembled, they invested in. They invested their energy. It was what they created. And so they loved it. When you give your man the ability to actually create something for you, create an experience for you, deliver something for you, he has more investment in it. He values it more. And therefore, the payoff is bigger. But what do you do when you ask him for something and then his suggestion isn't really what you want? There was a client of mine who asked a guy, say, hey, pick a place for us. I'd love to go out this weekend. So he picked a place. And when he suggested the place, she was like, no, I don't want to go to that place because it's really too loud. We're not going to be able to talk. And she was on a coaching call before she responded. And I said, okay, what's your plan? How would you respond to this? And she goes, well, I just picked the place I want to go and I send it to him. And I said, okay, I'm glad we're talking right now, because what that does is that communicates to him that you don't trust his plans and that you don't think he has what it takes to actually create the experience you want. And that's going to instantly kill the connection that you guys have at this point. It's okay to let him know that that place doesn't quite fit the vision you had for the experience you want, but then give him two choices. Say, hey, here's a spot and here's a spot. I would love for you to choose where we go. Either one of these are going to be great. And then he still picks, takes you there. And I love that strategy because although it's not as ideal as him picking a spot you love right out of the gate, it does create this meeting in the middle where you still get what you want and he still gets to win. So we've got ask, allow, and the third step in being receptive is to appreciate. This is the big payoff. This is the reward that the masculine wants, because what the masculine energy wants is to provide what you want, to give you an experience that you love. And I cannot overstate how much it means to the healthy masculine man when you love the thing that he is providing for you and you express it. You give him this reward. The easiest way to give him the reward is with words of affirmation, saying things like, you made that so easy. Thank you for providing such a fun night. Or I felt so cared about the way that you planned this particular evening. I loved it. Thank you. Those words of affirmation go a long way. And there's brain science behind all of this, right? His brain, when he accomplishes something, his brain gets a shot of dopamine from getting this clear win with you. And what happens is your system actually releases oxytocin when you allow yourself to receive and then appreciate, because it's creating deeper connection. And so your pulling invitation energy meets his pursuing energy, and then it's like that magnet coming together. Before we go any further, I have a super cool announcement for you. If you love ideas for how to amplify your feminine energy and you want to go deep into unlocking the masculine mind, how men think, love, communicate, I have written my next book called Cracking the Man Code, and it is awesome and is like a blueprint for understanding how men think, how men love, how men communicate, and how to amplify that polarity energy. I'm going to put a link in the description. You can grab your copy. It's wherever books are sold. And I know that not only will you love this, but if you have any girlfriends, wink, wink, that want to understand men as well, tell them to grab a copy as well. Because this is all about helping couples connect even deeper. And you and anyone that you tell are helping spread love in the world. All right. So the first switch is receptivity. The second switch is called being in your body. Remember when we talked about the masculine is head energy, is thinking energy. The feminine energy is heart-centered, feeling-oriented. Because at the end of the day, Attraction isn't a checklist that we get through. It's an experience that we have. And when you drop from your mind spinning energy into an embodied presence, then your whole energy field expands. In fact, according to research, the HeartMath Institute did some research that blew my mind. And that is this. Check this out. The heart's electromagnetic field is significantly larger than the brain's. And what they found was that the electrical field of the heart is about 60 times greater than that of the brain. Crazy. The magnetic field of the heart is 5,000 times stronger than that of the brain. That's why in Scripture it says, as you believeth in your heart, it is done unto you. It's not enough to just live in the brain. We've got to integrate ourselves and connect to the heart space, connect to that feeling energy, and drop into the body. So when you drop into your heart and your body, you actually help draw him into his heart. And that creates this beautiful experience together. Now, I know you might be thinking, well, Matt, easier said than done. I tend to live from this space in my brain. My brain spins a lot and I'm always working and so on and so forth. So what's an easy way to actually drop into your heart space, drop into your body? And I call it the heart reset. It's HEART. And it's really simple and it takes about 30 seconds to do. And the first thing is to, if you want to drop into your heart, place your hand on your heart. Go ahead and touch. This touch anchors you into your body. And you can do it with me right now. The E stands for exhale. HE. Exhale longer than you inhale. So take an inhale breath to the count of 4 and do that several times and you will begin to drop out of your head right into your heart. The A stands for attend to one sensation. Put your attention on one sensation. It might be your feet on the floor. It might be the cool air on your skin. It might be the fabric of your clothes on your skin. But bring yourself out of kind of future thinking into one sensation in your body. And then the R stands for reveal one feeling. And what that means is that tune into how you're feeling right now. And so you can tune into, I'm feeling nervous, or I'm feeling scared, or I'm feeling overwhelmed. Part of me is feeling scared, but another part of me is excited. I'm feeling peace. I'm feeling joy. And then the T is to tempo down. And what this means is we all kind of have a pace at which we live life. Tempo down means go at 10% slower. Use soft eyes. Pause. Notice the silence. Connect to your breathing. As you tempo down, you're moving out of the head into the heart. And what's so cool is this really does only take 30 to 60 seconds. And so just to review that real quick, it's you place a hand on your heart. That's the H. E, you exhale longer than you inhale. Do that breathing. A, attend to a sensation, a physical sensation in your body. R, reveal a feeling. Connect how you feel. And T is tempo down. And you do that and you're going to connect right into your body. Because what we're looking for when you're connecting to his masculine energy is less TED talk and more heart talk. And the third switch that actually amplifies feminine energy is standards. Now, I love this topic because it's so important. I've done full videos on which standards do you really want to focus on. But remember, standards represent self-value with selectiveness. That's what it shows, because only people who have standards are selective about who they want to be with. But what they also do is it gives him a clear goal that he can win with you. And masculine energy loves that. Standards are not control, where you're trying to place a rule on him. They're all about you and what you will or will not accept in order to be in a relationship. And ultimately what they become is they become like this blueprint. It's the path for how he gets to win with you. And they are great signals for healthy self-esteem, right? Where you say, I am worth what I would love. I'm worth self-care. They signal selectiveness. In other words, you have options. You're coming from abundance. And as I said, they give the masculine energy a winnable target. Here's how you can show up and succeed with me. And one of the biggest benefits of you identifying your standards, living into your standards, is they help you relax. Now, why would standards help you relax? Because standards are a commitment to yourself about what you're going to allow in a relationship and what you're not going to allow in a relationship. And when you trust yourself to speak up when things are out of alignment with your standards, then you know, your whole being knows, your subconscious knows that you are going to keep yourself safe. And when you're safe, you can relax. When you relax, you can open up. When you open up, you're free to be yourself. You're free to be more playful, more fun. The whole experience becomes better. And when you are having fun and you're open and relaxed, that actually signals him that he can have fun, he can open and he can relax. And that's where the connection really exists. So let's take this out of the principle of standards and make this real practical. Interacting with him, what are things you can say? How can you communicate your standards? Let's say that you're going to meet up on a date and he invites you to meet him after you've just been texting on a dating site and you really want to talk on the phone first. And so you can say something like this: I'm open to getting together and I'd love to do a FaceTime date first to make sure that we've got a good connection. So what is his masculine energy here? His masculine energy here is create a FaceTime connection, and that wins with her. And he'll be on it. Or let's say you're on a date and he wants to talk politics or any topic that you're uncomfortable with. Here's how you state your standard. You can say, hey, I'm happy to talk about this after we've spent more time together, but for now, let's focus on, and then change the topic to something else. What he hears is you're willing to be more open, but he's got to earn your trust. Mission accepted. Or this is a common one. Let's say he invites you on a date, but he wants you to drive all the way over to his side of town. What can you say to meet your standard? You can say, hey, I appreciate the invite. And on a first date, I'd love it if we were able to share in the driving and meet somewhere in the middle. Would you be willing to do that for me? What does he hear? He hears share the load of driving equals her happiness. That's a win. I'm in. And so just as a reminder, the appreciation regarding our invitation also fits right here. When you set your standard and he lives into it and he meets you halfway or he drives you your side of town, you can anchor that with appreciation, and that gives him that reward. You can say things like, hey, I feel so cared about the way that you drove all the way to my side of town. Thank you so much. Or, hey, thank you so much for checking in with me and doing that FaceTime before we actually got together. That really helped me open up even more. Woo! He will love that. Now, what happens if he doesn't take the mission? Or if he pushes back? This is why you have standards, because standards create filters. And half of meeting your man, your right man, faster is getting rid of the wrong man faster. And so here are some graceful exits if he's actually not willing to live into a standard. Regarding driving to your side of town, you can say, hey, that's totally okay if that's not something you're willing to do. And I've got a need for shared responsibility in relationships, and that might not be you, and that's okay. Or if you're wanting exclusivity and he just wants to date, you can say, if exclusivity isn't where you're headed, there's no hard feelings. I'm looking to create a partnership though, and that might not be us. Remember, selectivity signals abundance, and abundance is attractive. The right man is going to step up. The wrong man is going to step aside, and that's what you want. I love these 3 easy switches that switch on your feminine energy. The first one is to amplify your receptivity. The second one is connect to that heart. And the third one is to communicate your standards. My question for you is, what is it that helps you feel really anchored in your feminine energy? Go ahead and post those in the comment section below. I hope you check out the book, Cracking the Man Code. It has so much value. It will absolutely change your love life. Here's to you in a beautiful, amazing relationship that you want. Feel my love coming from me to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.